Hello, welcome to the Learning Way experience. My name is Tall Grant, and I'm here tonight to help you walk through an early free enterprise seed, look at some of the decisions and thoughts you need to make as a runner, and kind of show how I would approach it. So we have here a flag set that was put together for us to do as a sample seed. And we're going to start by looking through what the flags are, understanding what that is, and making something of a plan to start the seed. So, first of all is our flags. We have 3 objectives. Those 3 objectives are the quest to forge the legend sword with the adamant, to drop the magma key into the well in Agert, and trade away the pink tail. We have to do all 3 of those. It'll give us the crystal, and then we can go fight Zeromus. The K flags are here. That shows us that the key items are solely going to be in the Kmain spots. There are 17 Kmain items, and there are 17 spots. So we've got those to look through. There will be one empty one that's emptied out because the crystal is there. The pass is in the shop, so we're going to want to be looking to buy that. Characters are relaxed. That means that everybody's going to be in there and can be in any of the spots. J abilities are on. T empty, so just in case we were tempted to open the boxes with treasure in it, we've taken them all out. This is going to be a solely shopping seed. Wild shops means everything's for sale, everything is free, and we cannot buy apples. Standard bosses, whyburns, opening Megadukes off. We can turn on and off experience, or encounters rather. We can turn on encounters. And then life glitch, sylph glitch, backrow glitch, and Edward can equip the spoon. So this is a riff on a set of flags called Supermarket Sweep that are designed for us to be mostly just shopping. And so in order to do that, we're going to basically be buying as much as we can. So usually before a seed, you want to have a rough plan here. We'll find out what characters we have to work with, but the kings of this flag set tend to be Edge and Cecil. So hopefully we're going to build a party with those 2 in it. My intention is to have those 2, plus probably a 3rd melee that would be maybe Sid, maybe Kane, maybe Yong. Then a white mage. Rosa or Borm are probably preferred for that, but Fusoya works if we see him. And then an anchor character that's going to kind of throw the party down, who may also be our black mage, and would kind of hopefully be Tella. I like him in that role, but we can make Sid work, we can make lots of other things work. This is going to be a melee party, because we're able to buy gear. We want people who are going to benefit from it. So we're going to go out looking for, adamant armors is the ultimate armor. That covers everything. If we have that, we don't need to look for much else. We'll pick up a couple of other things like bandanas or Zeus gauntlets or crystal rings if we see them. For weapons, Crystal Sword, Excals are great because they're dartable by Edge, Avengers, White Spears, those kind of things are great. The Ninja Swords for Edge are actually not very good darts because it's the damage roll with form involves the attack power, and since Edge is meant to hold one in each hand, the attack power on his swords are not as great. So we're not so much interested in those as we are other big things, but those turn into lots of damage for Edge early on to let him carry us for what we're doing. And then for items, elixirs are great, life potions are needed, probably a little camping gear, just enough to get us through. Sirens and Bacchus wine are the big ones, and things like coffins and hourglasses are nice if we find it, but not game-breaking. Okay, so we are not going to be running a timer tonight. This is mostly to, again, walk through thought processes and decision-making, and so we'll probably stop and try and talk a little bit about what I'm thinking of and what we're going to do. But I guess we'll get this thing started, and I'll start walking you through things. About to hit the timer by force habit. We're just going to roll. All right, let's go. All right, so we're going to see who our starting partner is. We're not too worried about it because the free characters are on. So we'll take Edward for now. We can make a lot of choices there. There's the twin harp. Let's go Sid. The Octo's not too much of a concern boss in this spot. It's not something we're worried about. But neither of these characters in this flag set are particularly compelling or great. So we're going to start by shopping. We're going to try and pick up our characters on the way and try to make as many zigzag moves as we can. where we minimize how much we walk. So we're going to start by going down to Agert and then over to Mysidia and checking shops and characters in those places. It's supermarket sweep. We want to be efficient and buy things that we want and not waste too much time otherwise. So let's see what's for sale in this shop. Illusions are very useful. There's the life pots we said, and cure 3s we'll take in case we don't see elixirs soon. But that covers a lot of our basic shopping needs to get us started. Alright, what do you have in the armor shop here? Power shirts are great. We're going to take those just in case we don't see adamant armors right away. But that's a lot of strength bonus. It makes people really good. There are white spears. We'll take those. Those are good darts for edge, and they'll work fantastic if we see Kmain. Those are good. Avengers are good. Excals are king. Alright, so next up we are headed to Mysidia. There's shops. We skipped the Baron shops early because there's only the item shop open at the beginning, and we're going to go there a little bit later. So we're going to just keep doing this and looking at various places we can shop and buy things. Weapon shop, we have a bunch of edge stuff. We don't care. Sorry, I should slow down a little bit for y'all. There are crystal rings. These are fantastic because of the agility bonus and the protection they provide. So those are very good pickups. The rune rings aren't bad, but I'd rather just have the crystal, and the bonus for it's good enough. There's Bahamut. We'll take one just in case we see Rydia. I don't think I'm going to take her for too much of a thing, but it never hurts to have a little bit of options. Alright, here's our first look at characters. That's a Yang. He is, again, he won't necessarily be great because he is not going to benefit from gear, but that's the Cecil. That's someone long-term we want. Okay. So we're going to head south, and we're going to go do a little bit of a character check next, and we're going to see what's at Damcyan. Because we have to have the hovercraft, it's the pink tail. I like to go pick that up and make sure we have that handy. But there's a character check here. We'll probably do this, and then we're going to go see the character over in Watery Passes. Again, just trying to find everybody and start off with a really solid party for what we want to do. I kind of listed out who I wanted here. We'll see who comes around. Just in case you're tempted to loot. There that is. That's Kmain. We have a good weapon for him, and he's somebody who can get us going early with damage. So I think he's a winner too. We technically can make this party work and let the guys throw potions since we have a lot of big potions. It's going to be a little bit better for us if we can get a white mage to help out. Okay, so next up we're going to head over here to Watery Pass and just see who the character is. We will probably get rid of Edward pretty soon. Let's walk as Kmain. That's Porum. That's a white mage. That's beautiful. She can get us certain things like Berserk and Blink. She gets it pretty early. She also learns Exit. And we're going to get rid of Edward. We don't want his gear because his gear is frankly awful. Again, we're shopping for the best stuff we can find. Let's make our way over to Kaipo. Again, one more place. We're just trying to check everybody off for shopping. This is going to be my first save right now, and the reason is it's a long walk into Kaipo. So after I've checked the shops, if I didn't find anything I wanted to buy here, I'll just reset back out to where I was. Defense sword is not bad. It's something that can be thrown. It's something that Kmain can use. We'll take that for later if we need it, but I'm not so stuck up on it that I'm going to stick it out. However, those Bacchus wines we want, and we'll go ahead and take 99 grimoires just for fun. We're going to wait for Kaipo Lady. But the Stardust is a mediocre item. The Grimoire is a mediocre item we can just kind of have in a pinch, but it was free, so it didn't hurt us to grab it. White ring, we'll take one curse ring for our anchor, and we'll take one white shirt for our white mage. Everybody else is good to go. Again, the white shirt is protection in case I don't see adamant armors early. They can be anywhere in the seed. They're really good to have. We'll see. Again, this is a long walk, so we're going to save one more time. And we're going to keep shopping. I would like to find a permanent Cecil weapon and adamant armor, and I would love to find sirens. Those are the two things that are left to get. So that's a tiara. Those are good for Porum, so we'll just grab a couple of them. Buying 99 doesn't hurt in this flag set. The rest of what's in that store, not great. There's one life staff. We'll get that for Porm. We're not going to be playing with bows, so we're not going to buy anything for the archer stuff. In general, the strategy is to have one or two characters that are going to be able to do the work, and they'll be doing all the rolling. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here to Toroya. Again, just working through the rotation, trying to find a short path to get to as many shops as we can, and check as many things as we can off the list. Glass hat is nice. That's very good defense for people. I don't think we need anything else from here. I'll let you take a look at this again. There's a lot of things in the shop here, but most of this is fairly mediocre equipment. The Dragoon armor is kind of nice, but we're going to hopefully cruise through without worrying about that too much. Again, looking for a big weapon for Cecil. That's not it here. We're going to grab a Thunderclaw just for fun, in case we have Edge or Yong that can be handy in certain boss situations, but it's not a huge thing. Hourglasses are lovely. They solve lots of problems. These ethers will be useful, so we'll keep those too. The rest of that shop was eh. And there are elixirs and silk webs. We're not going to buy Cure 2s. We already have Cure 3s. Silk webs are eminently useful and something you really want for the Zeromus fight. Okay, I think we've got 2 more sets of shops left to do here. We have not been over here to Fabul, and we're not going to go to Fabul just yet, because we're going to go to Fabul when it's time to actually do Fabul. So here we have Silvara. This is probably our last gasp for adamant armor before we get going, and they just have Crystal Shield. The Crystal Shield, that's endgame stuff for Cecil, but we're not really worried about shields. Cecil doesn't really need it. Do you have a big sword for Cecil? No, but we have Rune Axe, and Rune Axe is nice for fighting mages. So we'll take that too. Okay, and then finally, Hourglass ones we don't need. We'll take those, we'll buy our pass, and we'll buy some Thor Rages, which are useful against a couple of the lightning bosses. Okay, so we did not see adamant armor. We did get power shirts instead. That'll be a great substitute for us. So we're going to kind of follow the vanilla game next to do our checks, and that means usually starting... Oh, excuse me. There's a free key item that we should have checked earlier. Totally slipped my mind. Let's go in here and see Bedward, because he should be holding a free key item for us, and we can go get that from him. Alright. So this is a freebie for us as well. If we'd been a little more competitive, we'd have checked this a minute ago. Okay, tower key is good. That's a fairly easy check when we get it open, and it means we have an incentive to go do the tower. Alright, so there is one more free character left out there, and that's the one on Mount Ordeals. We're going to leave that one alone for right now, because we've got some really awesome gear. We can let Kmain run everything for us, and we can set that up. Alright, so we're going to follow the vanilla game for checks, and that means Cave Antline first. So we're going to stop and we're going to equip Kmain. Kmain's here, he's got a regular spear, we got a white spear, we'll put that on him for now. We got glass hat for him, we got power shirt for him, and we have crystal. You'll notice that this is a pretty good combination of power and protection for Kmain. Between the glass hat and the glass hat gives him a lot of armor, the power shirt gives him quite a bit of strength, so he's going to swing really hard. And we're in fact going to put him here in the center. We're going to let him do that kind of work for us. We're also going to put our big guys in the front row. That means Yong and Sidga there. So Porm's probably the really important character. We got a white shirt for her. We have a life staff for her, and we can give her this tiara. And the tiara is like the glass hat, but it has a couple of extra things with it. Let me show the stats on here. The wisdom stat is not necessarily great, but it resists lightning and dragons. And it also boosts a lot of the spellcasting stuff for her that the glass hat will not. So that's why we do that. It's even better on somebody like Rydia. Okay, so I've got 3 other characters in the party. I'm not worried about them. Sid may be my anchor, so I don't really care what happens to him right now. Cecil's going to get promoted and can't equip gear. And since Yong is slow and won't hit hard, he's mostly going to be a passenger. So we're not going to do anything with him. So we're going to go ahead and save. Before you go to do any sort of check where you have to fight something, you want to make a save. When you get really high level, you might think about it, but I will tell you as a starting runner, it's best not to take the risk. Before you make the check, make the save. The 2 to 3 seconds you lose by saving is not worth what you lose when you wipe. Because you will make mistakes, you'll underestimate things, or you'll get an unpleasant surprise, and you just want to be ready for it. Alright, let's see who's in here. Alright, so this is Mom Bomb. We're going to take a quick pause and talk about this. Normally, this particular slot has about 700-800 hit points, and it's a fairly early and fairly easy fight. However, Mom Bomb does something interesting with the script. Mom Bomb's going to get an extra 10,000 hit points given to it, and once we take out that original 700, it's going to trigger it into a phase where it's going to explode into 6 more bombs. Now, if we had a ton of damage and we could kill it very fast, we would just go to town on it, but we're low level and kind of crummy. So what we're going to do is we're going to fight it, we're going to let it Mom Bomb, and then we're going to use one of those grimoires we picked up on it to go hit it. So I'm going to show you one other trick with Kmain we can do early, because he won't swing terribly hard to begin, but he has another way he can do the damage here. So what we're going to do is go into his item menu, grab his white spear, and use it as an item. And the white spear casts white. The other thing I'm going to do is move my stuff in my inventory around a little bit here. And just get the Bacchus wine near the top, because I'm going to plan on using that quite a bit. Okay, so it's going to sit through the script. We wait for it to explode, and not just for explode, but for the bombs to appear. And you have to wait for it to finish the script where everybody gets hit before you try to cast, or it's only going to hit one of them. So here's a grimoire. We're going to see if we're lucky here. We hit Odin, and Odin did not go. There's Sylph. That's only going to target one of them, so that's not necessarily great. Again, the big bombs might be doing a little better here, but the grimoires are fun, so that's what we're doing. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright, good job, Ifrit. Alright, so that's our first check. You'll see everybody's getting 1 level, but at this low of an experience, that's really not too impressive. So if there was something really awful here, I'd think about resetting out if I didn't want to walk it out. But the hook's something we need to win the seed. That's great, so we can go with it. Alright, so the next check we can make is we're going to stop by Mount Hobbs. And the reason we're going to go look at Mount Hobbs is not because there's not a key item there, but because we'd want to see who the character is. If you're doing a large competitive race, I'm not sure how strongly I'd be pulled there to go looking for characters, especially with Cecil in party. But it doesn't hurt for us to go take a peek and look and think. So we're going to take another save. Again, if we go up there and there's nothing useful there, we'll see what's here. We can just reset back out, save the time, don't worry about it. Alright, so up here I see there's Rosa. That's a better white mage than Porum, and there's CPU. So I like Rosa as a character, and CPU's kind of a neat fight, so I think we're going to go ahead and do this, and again just show what this king can do. Okay, for now we're going to get rid of Yang, and we'll probably replace Porum in a little bit. But again, this is Kane's fight to win. We're going to let him do the work, and most everybody else is going to just take a break and hang out. So you see he hit that guy for about 400 damage. We would normally do the white spear thing, but it'll reflect because the wall and CPU. Now we're going to jump just because we're trying to hit the guy in the back row for a bunch of damage, and that's enough to take him down. This spot normally has about 1,600, about 1,400 health, I think, but it divides up so that orb there had about 1,200. Kane hit him for 13 something, so the jump was good because it one-shot him. But we're getting past the point where jumping or using the white spear as an item is becoming helpful. And you'll see that Porum got 3 levels here as opposed to just 1 at Antlion. This is a much stronger check. Okay, so this is most of what I wanted in the party. I I still don't have quite the big final sword for Cecil that I would like to have, but we've got a lot of things for the team we want to have, and we don't need to worry about characters too much now. Again, we're going to take a save here. We're going to go to Rosa, and we're just going to put a couple things on her for protection. The idea is that Rosa's going to be our long-term white mage, most likely, but we're not too worried about it right now. We're going to keep Porum kind of where we want it. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to put Sid in the back row, or in the front row. So the reason you do rows like this, Kmain is in the middle because he's our anchor. Everything is keying off of him, and we want him to be actually as fast as possible because he's going to just be wailing on anything we come across. And the faster if we keep him in the center for agility purposes, he will slow the bosses down and get us more opportunities. The girls are going to be in the back row because they take a lot of protection from damage just by being in the back row. This row thing is very important for them. Although the order that they'll act in, if their agilities are all fairly equal, is Kmain, then Sid, then Cecil, then Porum, and then Rosa. Really, I'm just worried about Kmain right now, but that turn order will become a little bit more important later. We're going to save again one more time. Doesn't hurt because I'm there. We're going to shop both these stores before we do checks, just in case adamant armors are here. And then we're going to go do this check. None of this is really what we want, so we're going to leave all that alone. And we're going to go see what's in this particular store. We are looking still for sirens, but none of that is so tempting that I have to have any of it. The big thing I'm still looking for in the item shops is sirens. So we still have a reason to visit all three types of shops, but we're going pretty well. So we will help Fabul defend the crystal. Now, a Valvalis in this spot can be really rough and scary, but we have Kmain to cover that. Most everything else we can deal with isn't too terrible. Alright, this is either Mylon and Friends or Mylon Z. It's Mylon Z. Kmain will hit Mylon Z really hard. Mylon Z is flying, which means that he's weak to spears. They do that to make him immune to earthquakes. And he's also undead, which means he's weak to holy. So that holy lance Kmain is hitting him with does tons and tons of damage to him. Again, we skip past everybody and we just let Kmain mow him down. And Kmain is fast enough that Mylon never actually got a turn before Kmain took him out. So, pretty good. Nice fight, easy to go, great way to play. And Kmain is carrying us early. There's the Earth Crystal. It's fun to have, and we'll think about when and how we want to do it, but we have other business to take care of first. And that other business is we are next headed to Mount Ordeals. It's the nearest check, and it promotes Cecil. It's also the next one kind of in story order, so that's the way we're going to go. Alright. So we're going to go up Mount Ordeals and turn Cecil into a paladin. And that's kind of an important check for us because we want to make Cecil he is by far the most powerful character in this game. He is going to have the best strength, he's going to have great stat bonuses, he's going to be really, really awesome. That's a duplicate Rosa. We don't need an extra Rosa, in fact we're probably going to get rid of that Porum eventually. So we're going to come up to the top and we're going to go hit the save point. Again, it doesn't hurt you as a younger runner to be saving as much as you can. In fact, we're going to take the second save slot. We have 4 of them. We can use them to play games with save states later if we like, but for right now, just getting in the habit of not dropping everything in the first save slot is nice. It gives you a chance to backtrack if you make a mistake. Okay, so this is one of 5 lunar sparkles, and some of these can be tricky, so we're going to stop and talk about what to do with this fight. Okay, so this is Wyvern. In this flag set, Wyvern's big scary attack is something called Mega Nuke that hits really hard and is terrible. So we're going to, thankfully, not have to deal with that. We have Whyburn on and that's turned off. But he's going to cast Wall on himself and then start randomly reflecting nukes. So we want to take him down. We also want to be really careful here. Wyvern hates summons. If you cast a summon at him, Wyvern will respond by throwing Mega Nuke at you, even though this opening Mega Nuke is turned off. So while we have those Grimoires, we absolutely don't want to use one here. But just like the other fights, we're just going to let Kmain work his way through. In fact, I'm going to show you another trick for how Kmain does things that's going to take care of things pretty well in here, and how the anchoring is set up well to go fast. So, Kmain is first. We're going to go in here and have him drink a Bacchus wine. And the Bacchus wine makes Kmain cast Berserk on himself. And the Bacchus means Kmain will swing for 50% extra damage, and he'll also go as fast as he possibly can. Now that 1480 is about half the hit points here. There's 2800. That's about 2500. We're going to have to deal with one nuke here. That's on Rosa. It's not great, but it's not end of the world. It doesn't hurt if she doesn't make it through the fight or get experience. Thankfully we were ready. We got her back up, and Kmain will kill the wyvern right now. So, good clean fight. And it worked out pretty well for us. So now, this is really important on Ordeal, so we're going to head back to the save point, and we're going to do two things. First, we're going to cast Cure 2, and we're going to get Rosa back up to full health to be ready. The other thing is we're going to change our rows, like so. We know that the next attack is where Mylon Z normally ambushes the party, and for Enterprise, we'll do the back attack in this spot. So you want to be preset for that and ready to go when it comes in here. So let's go see who this spot is going to be and what awful thing is here. Okay, this is D-Mist. So a couple things about D-Mist. D-Mist is one of the first two bosses in the game. Both it and Octomam are designed to be weak to darkness to help promote Cecil, who's going to have the black sword or the shadow sword or the darkness sword, whatever he's got. The flip side of that is it means that they're strong to holy. And Arcane currently has on a holy lance. That white lance is holy and is going to be resisted by the D-Mist and have the damage cut down significantly. So when it's Kane's turn, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take him and we're going to swap him to a defense sword to make sure that he gets to hit for full damage in there. The other problem, I would normally love to Berserk in a fight like this, but D-Mist is going to go 3 rounds and go into Mist form. I don't think we're going to be able to kill it quite fast enough before it goes into Mist form. So we want to be ready to stop attacking and to wait it out and not just sit through the mist while it does that. So let's get started and see what we can do in here. There's our first attack from D-Mist. Okay, we're going to swap Kmain to the defense sword. That's why we bought it. And we're going to hit it. That's our second attack. One more and we go into Mist form. We've got time. We're going to throw a Grimoire and see if we get lucky and get like a Bahamut here. That's Shiva. There's about 3,000 health here. Kmain did just under 700. That Shiva gets us about halfway. There's a Bahamut. That will probably finish this thing off. Yeah, so that's more than the full thing, and we get to sit through the crumble. Anywhere we see the elements, we're going to get this crumble that you have to sit through, unless you get a multi-target boss. Okay, so the next fight is what we call the changing room, and it's where Cecil's going to turn into a paladin. You want to come and do the changing room primarily to make Cecil into a paladin. It makes him the most powerful guy you're going to see in the game. It also makes Tella a lot more useful character because he remembers all the spells he got. So we're going to fix our rows, get everybody back in the front. We're going to save again. And we're going to get prepared to do the fight. If you have anything on Cecil you don't want him to have, it needs to come off before you go in here, because Cecil will lose all his gear when he transforms. Cecil's also going to reset back down to level 1, and he won't get any experience from this room typically because it is a no experience fight in the vanilla game. This is where he would fight Dark Knight. There's our key item, which we receive. We'll just promote Cecil right now. There's the animation to make Cecil into a paladin also. Okay, and now we see the boss. This is another sparkle, so we'll stop and talk for a minute. This is only a 1,000 hit point spot. It's really not terrible. So Pale Dim is a dragon boss. It's one of the 5 lunar sparkles. And Pale Dim's big shtick is that when you attack it, it'll respond by casting slow back at you. So it can be a very long and time-consuming fight. It can take a while, but it's only got 1,000 hit points. And it's also a little bit weak to holy, so we're going to swap Kmain back to his holy lance, and then we're going to go to town. So here's our white lance, and we're just going to hit him. Kmain missed killing him by 70 hit points, which is too bad. So, we'll let Cecil get to work. He has crummy gear. We can give him a defense sword for now. It's the best we have for him. And we'll let Cecil finish him off. So we're going to do some maintenance work with Cecil in a minute. Alright, so we're in pretty good shape now. Alright, so now it's time to take care. I felt good because I wanted to get Cecil promoted. I wanted to get him set up there. But we don't quite have Cecil where we want him to be. We also got our hands on the hook. And the nice thing about the hook is going to open up another set of shops for us. So we can go take a look at that. We'll talk a little bit more, but we want a big holy sword for Cecil. We'd love to find Edge if we can. Porum should, by the way, know exit now, so that'll actually help us out in that particular regard. And we still would like to have those adamant armors. So we're going to pop back down here. We're going to grab our hovercraft. And we're going to go check out this other shop. And depending what we find here, we're going to make some decisions about how we want to proceed. So this is the hook route. We may have to deal with hook route later, but we'll see. Again, we're not playing so much for time at the moment as we are trying to make good decisions and set ourselves up for success. Do you have adamant armor here? This will not have adamant armor anyway. These are interesting items, but nothing I really feel like I need. The Ether 2s might be nice, but elixirs are better, and we're not too worried with Ether 1s in a pinch. No adamant armor. I really don't care. None of this is really high-quality gear. I know the crystal hat is supposed to be Cecil, but there's much better hat options for him. Stardust Rod is really nice. We do want the Dwarf Axe, and we want the Dwarf Axe for one reason and one reason alone. That's backrow glitch. We're going to put that on Kmain right now. It's a one-handed weapon and it's ranged, so that will backrow our Kmain. Now, we're not planning to put Kmain in the back row just yet. He's pretty durable and he's doing fine. But even if you don't want him in the back row, you want a back row glitch him. And the reason you want to do that is because he will be able to hit enemies, because the enemies have formations too, in the back row at full damage now. So Kmain is set up really, really well. We will probably actually put him in the back row in a minute when we rethink the party and equip Cecil. But let's see if we can find Edge here, because Edge is the king of supermarket sweep, and if we find him, he solves a lot of problems for us. That is another Rosa, and it's Valvalis. Valvalis is a bit annoying on this hook route, and we don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to leave here and go looking elsewhere to see if we have another path underground. We still have 3 more key item checks we can make in the overworld. We have a couple more spots to go looking for characters in, and we're going to see what we can find. If this was competitive, it might be a check that I would have waited to do in case we have to go do a hook route, just because I would like to get out there. Exit for Porum showed up after we did ordeals. It's another good reason to have ordeals done. You want to have that before you check something like this, or Magnus, which is actually probably next on our list. Normally in progression, I would be heading for Baron Inn next. But we have the harp and we have the earth crystal, and there's a nice little loop that we can take that's going to be nice. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and take our we'll leave our hovercraft here in case we have to do the hook route, because there's a good chance we won't get the magna key. So we're going to do this thing because it's a minimal travel sort of thing. Again, we need to go do some equipping and get set up. So we're going to do this. We're going to take that Dwarf Axe we had and get a back row glitch on Cecil. And then we're going to give him the usual setup. He gets the glass hat, he gets the power shirt, he gets the crystal ring. And we're going to put him up here. We're going to put Sid in the front row, and we're going to put Rosa in the back. And we're going to put these guys in the back. Again, Porum and Sid are fairly replaceable here. Porum will get replaced by a black mage potentially, and Sid is probably going to be our anchor. So the reason we're going to do this check, oops, wrong chocobo. Let's go get a correct chocobo. The reason we're going to do this check is we can park the Enterprise outside this first check. We can go see what's in Cave Magnus, and then without having to get up and fly, we can just go to the Tower of Zot. And the Tower of Zot will kick us out outside Baron, and that'll set us up to go in and do Baron in. If we're really lucky, we'll have the Baron key, and all the checks will group together really nicely for us. Okie doke. So, we're on our way to Harp. Harp has a beautiful walk down. If possible, you'd love to put stuff that is magnetized on as many people as you can. I'm not going to worry about it too much. We're just going to sit through Dark Elf script. It's really nice to come here if you can, like right after you've done the Fey March, and preferably with a couple characters already dead. Because, you walk through the damage tiles and everybody's low health. Because if you can find a way to get everybody dead before you fight him, and Sid's the only person I have here, he's not wearing anything that's currently metal, but I know this Dwarfax is metal, and as soon as we put it on him... Oh, Dwarfax I thought was metal. I guess it's not. So, we'll sit through the script. In a lot of cases, it's nice to have metal on everybody, but the script here took about 10-ish seconds, and if it's going to take you longer than that to get in the menu and get everybody equipped and futz out what you want, it's not worth the time. Alright, traditionally, as a courtesy if you're running this, you'll usually be quiet and let people enjoy the randomized song here. So I'm going to go away for a minute. I'll pause the fight after the song plays for a little bit, then I'm going to talk through the boss. Actually, I'll let the song play and we'll talk about the boss. Okay, so this is Ashura, and Ashura can be a difficult boss here because we're not going to normally one-shot her unless we're prepared for it. But she's a white mage boss. She has 3 phases. The face you see right now casts Cure 4. The other face, the one that's kind of a whiter color, is going to cast Cure 3, and then the gray face will cast Life 1. And she'll heal herself a lot through the fight. There are several ways to deal with her. Having Wall is one of them, but the best way to deal with her is to have something big and tanky you can hit her with that does mage damage. And we did pick one item up. There's a single rune axe we grabbed. We're going to put it on Kane. Cecil is going to long-term be the better character, but he is still level 1 from when we got him off Ordeals. But Kane should be able to go to town here. We're not going to use a Bacchus right away just because we don't want to get a weird berserk glitch going on with him, which can happen when you switch weapons and immediately berserk. We want that full value for the rune axe, and we want to see if we can one-shot. So we're actually going to use jump here to hit her one time, and then Cecil will be ready to try and finish her off if Kane misses. So here we go. We have to unequip the shield because this is a two-handed weapon. So there's our 99 rune axes, and we'll jump Kane. Okay, so we're not going to necessarily unequip Cecil yet, but we'll set him up in a second. We'll wait for Kane to be on his way down. That's a one-shot. No problem. And again, she has about 5,000 health here. Having Kane do the jump was to maximize his damage. He got a 4-time multiplier, so he would normally have hit that for about 1,800 damage. And he just got a huge bonus. So let's see our key item. Legend Sword. That's required for us to win the seed, so it's good we came here. Alright, we can't cast exit. This room is protected, but before we came here, we got exit on Porum, and we can exit her out now. You also notice Cecil got 17 levels. The reason Cecil got so many levels is if you have 5 characters, and somebody is at least 5 levels behind 3 of the other characters, they will get a slingshot where they get double experience. So that helps Cecil get caught back up with the party to be useful, and we'll go up top. Again, we would love to have Edge, but we haven't seen him yet. So now we can just go ahead and walk straight into the Tower of Zot. Don't have to get on the airship. We can go up to the save point, which occurs before we have to fight anybody. So that's really nice for us. We are going to swap weapons on Kmain particularly. The Rune Axe is only good if we're fighting more mage-type bosses. We really want to have that white spear on him instead. Otherwise, and we want to get ready. This is going to be our first real tricky fight at the Seed. There's going to be about 9,000 health here, and we've got good defensive gear. We've got our characters back roads, so it's not going to be too scary for us in most cases, but we want to be ready just in case there's something terrible here. Again, we still got Kmain in here fast anchoring. You want to fast anchor the overworld, and Kmain is a speedy character with agility gear on him. He is going to be really, really, really good for this fight. We'll let him just drink a Bacchus wine unless something bizarre is here and win his way through. And Cecil will probably be about ready to help after this fight. So here, you'll notice I still have that crummy iron shield. It is such a minimal help, I really don't care about it. So the parties here, we're pretty much set to go. Porum's about to learn Blink, which is the other really critical skill. Berserk is really good, but we have Bacchus wines that covers us really well. If you look at Rosa, who's been here just about as long, she just got Berserk. So one of the advantages you get with that early Porum is she gets that Berserk and Blink a lot faster than Rosa does, and she natively learns Exit, and we've been able to lean on all those things this seed. Okay, this is Rubicon, and so we're going to think through this fight, and we're going to talk in a second. So like I said, this spot has about 9,000 health in it. Ruby is one of the bosses we do not want to Berserk against, and the reason we don't want to Berserk with Ruby is because his go-to move is going to be to respond to Berserk by casting fire on the whole party. And we're not terribly weak, but we're also not very high hit point either, so he can wreck us. However, if we jump him with Kmain, this is a spot where using jump is great, because he won't respond with that script. So we're going to just try and keep Kmain and Cecil and Rosa alive. We're not too worried about Porum, we're not too worried about Sid, and just let Kmain win the fight for us. We're going to go ahead and use cover with Cecil just to protect Rosa. Cecil has a lot of health and he'll do good. Porum is going to just hang out and not do much. Actually, you know what we should do? We're going to go ahead and use a Silk Web. This is a spell. It casts slow on him twice, and that means that Ruby's going to take twice as long to take his turns, and it's going to give us time for Kmain just to jump his way through this fight. With him doing about what he's doing, we're looking at about 5 jumps for him to win. And we may just Berserk him after the 4th jump to get through quickly. So that's 3. This Glare is probably the scary spell because it hits for a bunch of damage, and that'll be enough to kill Cecil, but again, we're not too worried. We've got lots of time, we've got lots of life pots. You'll notice that Ruby's not doing a whole lot to us now, because he's not doing those never-ending fires against us. Cecil, you can wait. Parry was not good because that actually cancels his cover, but we don't want him covering right now anyway. Alright, so we'll get back around to Cecil. Kmain should kill him, but Cecil's ready to give an extra blow if Kmain undershoots the damage. But that was enough, and he's dead. So, we're about to get our next 2 character checks. Again, Edge is really good. We're getting by without him. It would be nice to have him. He's kind of the king of this flag set. So, we're going to grab Porum, and we're going to let her cure to everybody until everybody's full health. But you'll notice that those cures she's doing are doing a lot of health because she's got so much good gear on her. The supermarket's sweet part of this is doing really well. But particularly after this check, Rose is going to get Exit. She's going to be pretty strong. Hello, Fusoya. You are going to be replacing Porum. So that tells us also there's a purple robe. That means the other Mylon is sitting in the second slot in Dwarf Castle, and we can plan for that when we go there in a little while. But Fusoya is going to replace Porum. He can do her job, but he also gives us access to black magic. The problem with Palom is Fusoya is going to have access to lots of black magic, and Palom's not really going to have much of anything. So this is probably our party, by the way. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and give Fusoya, he's pretty well equipped to start with, and I don't think there's anything we really need to give him. But that Lunar Staff, this is more than enough power for him. The Stardust Rod would be nice, but it's only +5 wisdom over what he has right now, so he'll do fine. We're also going to go in his magic really quickly, and we're going to see he unlocks 3 spells every time he gets there. Quake is really good, going to be nice for that. Warp is nice if Warp Witch is on, which is not in this flag set, but that gets us out of Sealed Cave, which is why we want it. Stone can be handy, Toad can be really handy, he knows 1 or 2 other damage spells, but he is not really going to do much else. We're going to do one more thing with Fu. We're going to speed him up by giving him a crystal ring, just like everybody else has, but I've hit the inventory boss. So let's sort our stuff out, give that to Fu, and give him a crystal ring, just like everybody else. Okay, so this is good. We can keep on keeping on like we're doing. We've got about 5,000 hit points in this next boss spot. Again, just looking for good strategy, but Kmain should be able to win this fight by himself, pretty much. This is Evil Wall. Evil Wall likes to hit hard and move quickly, but we're in really good shape here, so we'll just Bacchus Wine with Kmain, probably Bacchus Wine Cecil too, and burn him down. Silk Web would be nice if we felt iffy, but they'll damage where it'll take about 4 swings total to kill it. Okay, you can wait. Again, Fu's already level 50. He can hang out in the front row and he's fine. Okay, that 1,500. That's pretty good. Oh no, Sid took a hit. There's another 1,500. That's a little more than halfway. That's 4,400 total. So next swing should kill him, like I thought. That's right, it's about more like 6,000 and we underrolled a little bit here. Just going to take a look and move our elixirs up here. And get the hourglasses up there and get the silk webs up here. Okay, this is our crew. This is what we're going to roll with. Sid's going to be our anchor, but it's going to be the Cecil and Kmain show. And it's only 2 guys doing it, but they're going to do more than enough damage during the seed. Alright, and this should kick us out outside Baron Inn. We're going to cross our fingers and hope that the Magma Key comes into our hands. And if not, we'll do the hook route and it'll be okay. There's the Magma Key. Lovely. And we've avoided being on the hook route, which is great. So we have one more check we can do here. And that's Baron Inn. We put this on off, so we're well over... Oop, before we forget, we will stop and do a quick safety save. Just never hurts if you're unsure about equipment. So we don't have access to the weapon and armor shop here. We can go in here looking for sirens. That's our endgame key. I don't see them, but I see moon veils. They're a better version of star veils, so we'll take them. You'll see they add defense and they cast wall. They also last a bit longer than a star veil will. So those are handy if we need them. Don't think we will, but they're nice. Alright, so there's another Kmain. There's Bahamut. We're just going to hit this guy. He has 500 hit points. This is a real easy fight with any sort of levels in the party. Except Food is not quite strong enough to do it. But Fu is so much high level, which is why he's jumping the order like that. Which we'll fix that after this fight. After the dwarf, actually. Okay, Fusoya got 3 new spells, and our new boss is Magus Sisters. So let's talk a little bit. So this is a dangerous spot because there's a boss here where you don't know who it is. You can't see them. And in this case, we got Magus Sisters. This is another mage boss. They'll cast Wall on the middle sister, and then they'll go to town on you. However, there's not a lot of hit points here, and I would normally just take those rune axes like we did with Ashura and go to town with them. But because there's 3 characters and not 1, the hit points of the spot is split up in the spot. And this spot has about 4,000, so each of these guys are going to have between about 12 and 1,500. They're not evenly split. We saw earlier Fusoya knows Quake. Quake is going to do about 2,000 damage to everybody. So why not just let Fusoya cast Quake, take out the whole fight, and be done with it. And he's fairly fast. So we've got Kane here. He's going to be set up to clean up the trash in case Fu rolls it, but Fu did more than enough damage, and it's just one action, and the entire fight's over for us. That's good. It's very efficient. There's White. White is a good, powerful spell for Fu, but it takes forever to cast. That's the Darkness Crystal. We need that to go fight Zeromus. We can light up the pass because we did buy that a long time ago. Alright, so we have the Magma Key, and we're headed underground. We don't need a second Kane. As much as I love Kane, this is the party we're going to run with. We have 1 Black Mage. He's in there solely for casting Warp to get out of Sealed Cave. And he's handy for that nuke or other stuff, but he'll do that job well enough. But the real meat of this party is going to be the Zerkers. Alright, so we've shopped everywhere we can on the overworld. We're going to still take one more look underground. This is most of the shops we're going to get access to in the seed. But before we go do any more checks, we're going to do the rest of our shopping. We didn't find Edge. It's a little bit sad, but we'll be fine. So I think what we would really like to get our hands on are a big crystal sword for Cecil, a adamant armors for everybody. That's not our anchor, which our anchor is going to be Sid today, and sirens. There's a couple of other neat J items in the item shops that are worth getting, but if we find crystal swords or if we find adamant armors, we are going to stop shopping in the big shops. So there's our Magma Key in the Agate Well. That's done. And we are, I think, 2 items away from Go Mode, the Adamant Rock and the Pinktail. Alright, so we're going to kind of make a big circle here because that's the most efficient way to walk, and we're going to start with the Fey March. Now, we did not find camping gear yet, so this could be a little bit tricky, and we're going to have to do a little trick to get our refill, but we can do that easily after we take our damage for this. But we really want to come down here both to check the freebie and then to check the shops, and then we can just exit out. And since both Cecil and Rosa and probably Fusoya all know exit, we don't have a lot to worry about here. It's just going to be a real short trip of seeing what we can find. But again, get the key item and then try to check the last couple items off our shopping list. So we'll see our key item here is the Pinktail. That's a free adamant armor, so that's neat. And that's probably good to have because it's going to make the party really good. There are our sirens and there's some camping gear. That is lovely. Again, nice that we came down here, we found some stuff, and just did our shopping first, and so we'll have all that gear to benefit us when we start doing checks again, because we're not going to take any of these Fey March fights. Alright, we're going to get rid of some crap we don't need, like this iron that we started with, this Bahamut was bought on spec, this Thunderclaw's no good, these leathers, this staff. Just clearing out all the crap here, because there's tons of things we're never ever going to use. And we just keep getting rid of it until we're good. Okay, that works. Artemis Bow's neat, Mute Dagger's neat, but again, that's not right for this team. So we're going to leave all that here. There's no Holy Sword for Cecil yet. Artemis Bow is neat, but I don't want one because it takes too long to cast. Ninja hats are neat. They manipulate agility, but I'm happy with my glass hats, and I've got crystal rings for agility. So that's all the shops here. Let's get out. Okay, we're going to Tomra next. Again, we want to stack all of our gear before we go do checks. If we don't find adamant armors, we may just go get our one from the overworld, but again, I'm not too worried about Dwarf Castle yet. That adamant armor is really nice, and it makes us awesome really quickly, but we've got some other business we're going to tend to first. None of that's what we want. We really don't care about any of those items. Pankraz would buy carrots. He loves carrots. So if you're out there, Pankraz, we love you. Dwarf Boy has blocked the shop, so we're going to go the other way. No adamants there. 2 Dragoon items in Shadow. That's kind of crummy. Man, land of the blocking dwarfs today. There's an X-Cal, so we'll grab that. We'll grab 99 of them just in case we see Edge. Okay, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 key items. When we have a 10th key item, it's time for us to go and grind. We could go get our adamant armor here, but I'm feeling really confident about how our team is set up. So first of all, we're going to get Rosa into the healing gear that Porum had, which means basically getting the white shirt on her and getting the life staff. And then Rosa's going to be an incredible mage for us now. And we can get you a tiara too, because that just makes you a good caster. Kmain is in good shape. Fusoya is in good shape. So we're going to do a little trick with the tent. We're going to let Rosa heal everybody to where they're within 1,000 hit points of their top. And then we're going to use the tent. The tent restores 100 MP and 1,000 MP, 1,000 hit points rather, to everybody in the party. Oh, and I forgot, we got to get Cecil and Xcal real quick. Again, Kmain is fast, Kmain is leveled, but Cecil is the best character. So for now, we're going to put Cecil in the middle. They're about equivalent, and we're going to let Cecil go first. And Cecil's going to probably carry the fight for us in here. But again, we're going to shop before we go. We saved because we're going to plan to do the check, but we're going to take a shop. We know Mylon and Friends is going to be the second boss. Coffins are nice. Cabins are nicer than tents. The rest of that is junk. Alright, we're going to check the weapon shop because while the Xcal is good, the Crystal Sword's a little bit is significantly better. And there's Crystal Sword. It can't be thrown, so we'll only take one of those. And do you have adamant armors? You don't, but you have ribbons and bandanas. Awesome. Well, we're going to grab ribbons and probably bandanas too. Alright, so we're going to change out our gear a little bit. Fu's going to get a ribbon because it makes him a good caster, it makes him good. Cecil and Kmain are both going to ditch their glass hats for bandanas. And the reason we like the bandana better is because that if you look at the bandana here, 5 strength, 5 vitality. They get more hit points and they're going to hit a little bit harder. I'm not too worried about them because they're in the back row and they're going to be pretty safe. Alright, with that, we are done looking at weapon shops. We will not have any reason to ever check weapon shops again. Adamant armors would be nice. I'd love to have it, but I don't think we need it. Alright, so here's Leviathan. He will not be terrible in this spot. We've still got our fast anchor-ish in Cecil. When we're ready to slow anchor, which will be after Dwarf Castle, we're going to put the Cursed Ring on Sid and stick him in the middle as our anchor. But for right now, we're fine. And again, this is probably the next check. There's about 9,000 health here. And Kmain, you see, even though he's not in the first slot, is still going first because he is such a fast character. But we're going to let Kmain and Cecil play Bash Brothers and just win this fight for us. There's about 9,000 health, and again, I think we're about 4 or 5 swings from killing it with those Bacchus wines. Fu, you can wait. So, we berserk both the boys up. There's 2,000 of it. And we just wait it out. Okay, it's about 3,700-ish, 36, 37. That's about 67, and next swing from Cecil should do it. But you see how much harder Cecil's hitting with that sword. And he's still only got the Xcal, he doesn't have his Crystal Sword on. No problem. Check went really well. There's Medio on Fu. And we are an adamant rock away from go mode here. Alright, so we can do it one of 2 ways here. There's our Edge. Lovely. That leaves us a choice here. So Edge is a wonderful character here, and I think we're going to take him because he is so good throwing those Xcals, even with everything we're doing. This is going to change our anchoring. Our new anchor is going to be Fusoya. So, Rydia grows up. Rydia learns a bunch of stuff, but we don't care, and we have the party we always wanted. Kmain, we're going to start Kmain with a Grimoire and see if he can clear out the Zombos. That is not the way to do it, buddy. I should have had Rosa throw one. There's only about 3,000 health here, and it's split amongst all these guys, so it's not going to be a terribly bad fight. And in fact, Quake from Fu probably wins the fight by itself. While he's going to be doing this here, we're going to swap Cecil into his good sword. It's a great way to save a little time. And you'll see he did 2,700 on Mylon in the back. That's enough to finish him off in one blow. So the second fight is usually safe unless you get like a Golbez or an Ogopogo or a Dark Knight Cecil, or you came out of the first fight in really bad shape. But just the thing, and there's Nuke on Fu, which is great, but we're not going to use Fu. He's an anchor, he's there to cast useful black magic when we need it. But Edge came in just in the nick of time for us. And so we're going to go set up our party and show you how we finish the scene. Okay, this is our 10th key item, by the way, which is very important. And it's the pan. That's lovely. Okay, so we can make a routing choice with the pan here, because we're one key item away from go mode. But the critical thing is we have sirens, and we have 10 key items. If we grind now, we get maximum return for our effort. So we're going to go grind right now, and we're going to benefit from that. So we're going to take Kmain, we're going to take this crystal ring off of him for a minute because we want to slow him down a little bit. In fact, we're even going to put the Dwarf Axe on him. So this slows Kmain's agility down. You'll see that his agility is down 5 for the Dwarf Axe being on him. The reason is we want Cecil to be first in everything here. And we'll equip up Edge in a minute. And we're going to save. You always save before you do this grind. We're going to move these out of the way, and we're going to go grab our sirens. We can sit here and just kill eggs until Cecil is in the upper 40s, which is what we want. Don't care we got attacked from behind. I should get the crystal ring off Fusoya as well. You know, we can save a little time here. We found coffins, didn't we? Great, have coffin. Finding a way to kill that first or second egg can be really good just because it clears a lot of business out. So 68,000 because we're getting the bonus, and Cecil gets 5 levels here. Even 1 or 2 coffins here, if you can do them, is a big deal. But the fact we're going to get all that, we can just basically get the seed into absolute. We're going to win every fight before Zeromus, and we're Zeromus ready as fast as we can. In fact, now's probably the time to set up our party the way we want with equipment, so we'll do that shortly. Good news, you get Cursed Ring. So this is going to set up our anchoring the way we really want it to be. Okay, so Cecil's now should be able to go first. And with Fusoya at such a low agility, everybody else is at RA1, which means they're always going to act in order. So you see it's always going to be Cecil then Rosa. So we're going to do this and push everybody up to about level 48 or so. There's 38 on Cecil. But this just makes it where we are absolutely, you know, ungodly for power. Even without the adamant armor, we're just really going to hit hard. So Cecil's at 40. But again, it's not just to get where we can do the checks comfortably, but where we're ready to go fight Zeromus as soon as we want to. That's level 42 on Cecil, so probably about 3 more eggs will get us where we want to be, maybe 4. We've done 5 eggs so far. But again, with the surprise, Fu is slow, so even though he's in the center, he doesn't do much. Cecil's now hitting for 4k. It's level 44 on Cecil. Rosa has life 2. A good indicator that you're done grinding is Rosa gets white. If you have Palom or Riddy, you're chasing Nuke usually with them, but that takes a while. And we're not going to worry about black magic because this is a melee fight for Zeromus strictly. Okay, they're now starting to where they're getting just single levels. Edge got a slingshot for, I think, for a little bit, but he's not really getting it anymore. This is our 8th Siren. Strike first is a problem because even though he's slow as anchor, Fu goes first, but we sidestepped him and we kept killing. Okay. Most everybody that's not Rosa can survive a big bang now that's not nerfed. And Rosa might still with her levels, but we're going to do 1 more. That'll be 10 Sirens for us. This is 9 Sirens for us, rather. Then we've done 8. Nice crit by Cecil at 6k. Cecil gets 2 more, Rosa gets a level, King gets a level, Edge gets 2 levels. Okay, Cecil's level 48, that's where we said we'd stop. Alright, let's clean up our gear. King gets to wear the white sword, he gets his crystal ring back. Edge doesn't have anything. We want to put some stuff on Edge. The power shirt is even better than that. He already has some bandana, and we'll give him a crystal ring, again, to make him fast, but we're also trying to boost his strength, which is why the bandana's on there. It doesn't matter what's here. Edge's sole job is going to be to dart Excaliburs, and we bought a boatload of them. So let's find those Excals. Where are they? There's one Excal right there. There's the other ones. These are going to be up here where they're handy for us. And we'll put the Bacchus wine right here. Just rearranging stuff to where I like it to be. Okay. And now that our grind is done, we're going to save. Now, we have some routing choices to deal with right now. We are going to start with the pan. And we like the pan because the pan is 2 key item checks. We won't get one from Yong because that first check where you see Yong here in Sylph Cave is a summon check and those are off. But we are 1 key item away from go mode. If we can get the adamant rock, then we can go fight Zeromus. And so while we could go climb the tower to look, or we could go look in Sealed Cave, it's going to be a lot faster for us just to go and see if Sheila has the goods. And there's a good chance she does. She could also give us the rat tail, which also could lead us where we want to be. There's the pan, and we bonky bonk. But this party is pretty well set up, and Z is going to get pretty badly shredded by us. That's not as good as the 99 Hourglass 3s we bought. So this is actually where we're going to take a save here, in case we have to come back, and Sheila does not have the goods. But that saves us just a tiny bit of time if we get a bunch of useless junk out of Sheila up top. But I'd rather avoid checking Baron Key, Sealed Cave, and Tower if I can, because those are all time-consuming checks. All things being equal, we're going to do Lower Babel next, because there's 2 key item checks in it, and it's just a little bit longer than the other 2, so I think the return on an investment is better. But we're going to hope that Sheila gives us what we need. Walk as Kane. Kane is cool. We love Kane. Yes, he is indeed in the underground. Okay, there's the rat tail, which we want. We have to get rid of some of Edge's crap because we have too much stuff, and that's okay. Don't need the cap there. Don't need that prisoner, and that'll cover us. And there's the adamant. Great, we are in go mode. So, we need to go turn in all the things, and we can be done with the seed. We didn't have to do those other 3 checks. But our grind is done. We're already ready to go fight Zeromus. We don't have to worry about healing from our walk down to Sylph Cave because we found we're going to get a free heal from Zeromus. We don't have to fight anymore. So we left our hovercraft here from checking the hook route. We pour one out because we didn't get adamant armors, and that's a little bit sad, but we got everything else, and I think we're going to be fine. So let's get these turned in. Do a little goofiness here. So the fun with this guy, you turn the rat tail in first, actually. And it does a little goofy glitch here. So if you give him the rat tail first when you have them both, there's our Baron Key. We won't be checking that. When we talk to him again, we can give him our other tail. Sometimes it just automatically takes the pink tail from you there. I'm not sure what triggers that. There's our 1 adamant armor, and I'll talk in a minute about where that's going to go. So we'll do that right before we go to Zeromus. Let's go forge. Again, just trying to be smart about where and how we go places. And we have one more shot at adamant armors. There's the forge shop down here. We could go to the moon looking to see if they have it, but I'm not overly concerned. The party is pretty powerful even without the adamant armors. The power shirt's doing good work. It's poor man's adamant armor. I would normally rob Kokol, but there's nothing there. Okay. Go ahead and light up the crystal because it's coming. Okay, so this shop actually is important to look at, but nothing of value here. Another Excalibur. Lovely. And I've already marked the crystal. We're going to go ahead and show the crystal right now. Alright, so let's go. We found our pass in the shop. That was good. And we're going to go park outside Zeromus, and we're going to talk through the basics of how the fight's going to work. Or at least how we set up for the fight. And I'll walk through the fight as we do it. We'll pause at the beginning and just kind of talk a little bit about it. But we're going to spend a little time talking about agility and relative agility here. Alright. So I will give a link to, let's see. So I will give a link to it, but to how agility works. But the idea is you're going to have an anchor in the middle who you want to be slow. And for us, that's Fusoya. He's agility 5. We want him to be under agility 10. That's fantastic. It means everybody's at least 2.5 times faster than he is. Because he is so slow, the other characters are all going to act quickly. They're going to act just as quickly as Zeromus, because even though Zeromus has high agility, they're all compared to this anchor. And since they're all light years above Fusoya is super slow, everybody just gets one action every time a tick rolls around. And that's really, really good for us, because it means that while Fusoya will be absolute garbage in the fight, the other 4 characters are going to have an awesome time. Now, we're going to take that adamant armor we got. In general, you want to stack your absolute best person to do the absolute most amount of work, and that best person is Cecil. By a large margin. We want this adamant armor with its 15 wisdom, its 15 agility, 15 strength, 15 vitality, all that on Cecil, to make him strong, to make him dodge, to make him hit really hard. And he's going from, his attack power doesn't get any better from this, but his attack is actually that 235 he's getting off the sword, plus his strength bonuses. And the bandana's stacking strength, the adamant armor's adding strength. If we had Zeus gauntlets, that would stack strength too, we just didn't see them here. Everybody else is just going to do what they're going to do. So here's the plan in the fight, is we are going to open the fight with Cecil going first. And we want Cecil's going to be absolute first. That's actually not what we want. We want Rosa to be first here. And we want Cecil to be second. And what we're going to do is we're going to have Rosa throw the crystal for us. And then we are going to berserk up Cecil and Kmain and let them hit. And those two are going to go as fast and as hard as they can, while Edge is going to throw ninja swords at it. With Rosa, we're going to go ahead and get Cure 4 here, because that's what she's going to use. She doesn't have white, but that's okay. This is more than enough to do this fight. Alright, and we were not healed, but that's fine. Zeromus will give us a full heal at the start of the fight, so we don't need to worry about that. If you're a new player, I'm not going to do it because I feel confident in my inputs and my setup, but while you're figuring out the Zeromus fight, setting yourself on to, say, Battle Speed 3 to give yourself a little bit more time to put your inputs in and minimize loss against Z, because every second that it ticks that you're not doing something, Zeromus is counting down to get his next big bang up. But I'm hopeful we're only going to see one big bang during this fight. We'll be fine if we do see more than one. There are ways to get through it, but we're going to be hitting awfully, awfully hard. And that's what we want. We want this to be an overwhelming power fight where, with a 3-minute grind with those sirens, we're going to just be ready to completely shred this guy. Alright, folks. The tradition goes, whose butt are we going to go kick tonight? And again, we're going to pause it at the start of the fight and talk a little bit about what's going on here, because I don't want to... This isn't necessarily a showcase for how fast I can do the fight, but to help you understand what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and take it and apply it in your fight. Alright, so here we are in the Zeromus fight. It should be Rosa acting first here, but we'll see. Sometimes it gets a little goofy. Nope, it's Fusoya. Alright, so we're going to pause so we don't have Zeromus taking actions. We can use this as to our advantage in how we set up the fight and how things get going. So what we're going to do here is we need to use the crystal, and that'll cause Zeromus to change forms. He's currently unhittable completely, and that'll uncloak him. Once he's uncloaked, we start the countdown on the first phase of the fight, and that phase will last until he takes 45,000 damage. Once he does that, he will refill his health back up to full. Full health for him is 61,000, and then he will keep going until he has taken another Another 49,000 damage. He'll have 12,000 left at that point, and he'll cast Meteor at us if he gets a chance. So I'll be counting damage as we play. One other thing that's going to be real important we're going to talk about is the nerf, and we'll talk about that as we go through right now, but that's going to be Edge's job in the fight. So here is Fusoya, going to use the crystal and decloak him. Now since Rosa is second, we could probably save a little time here by having her cast Berserk. So Rosa's job is going to be to set up Berserk and cast that on Kmain. And we would normally want to throw something at Zeromus here in the fight, but he's still not uncloaked. So that also buys us a little bit of time. So that'll be something to do while we're waiting. Oh, nice. Final Fantasy VI. Alright, so Cecil's also going to go as fast as possible. We're just going to hit the Bacchus one to get him started. The next character is Edge, and I'd love to do damage with him, but we're going to have him throw a Silk Web. So we're going to pause right here and talk. Since we're in the menu, once you're in an item menu or magic menu, the game will stop. So if you need a second to collect yourself or think, if you can get to this menu, it'll just sit and wait. So normally we're going to have Edge darting Excaliburs at Kefka, but we're going to start with a Silk Web for two reasons. First of all, it casts slow on Kefka twice. This means that he is going to be moved from RA1, which he is right now, into RA2. And what that means is Cecil, Kmain, Rosa, and Edge are all taking one action every tick. And right now so is Zeromus. But when the two slows get on him, he's going to fall down to where he's going to take an action every other tick. That means my guys are going to be swinging quite a bit before he gets to do anything. And it's much more important to have this slow early. The second effect is doing this is going to lower his spell power. In the first segment, before he casts his first Big Bang, any sort of black magic spell, anything that is some sort of magic effect that's not a summon and is not white, is going to cause Zeromus to lower his attack power on his first Big Bang. And the Big Bang can normally roll up to about 2,600 damage, but if you've nerfed it, which is what we're talking about here, it's only going to roll about 1,200. So between that and the damage, we're hoping that that's the only Big Bang we see. Later ones have to be hit in a specific point of the fight in order for them to land, but this first one, as long as you queue it up before he gets as long as you can use the item or spell before he gets the Big Bang off, he'll be nerfed. And we're going to watch because we need to. So that's about 2,000 from Edge so far. He's a very speedy boy. Okay, that's about 7,000. That's about 10,000. Okay. Now we have our elixir queued to protect whoever gets counter-nuked from this. It's fine. Big hit, but as long as we get that elixir, we're in good shape. Rose is just going to hang out here. Okay, that puts us to about 15,000, about 18,000. Here comes the Big Bang. We're going to have this cure lined up right away. And now we're going to get to work. Again, everybody gets hit for less than 1,000. Let's throw an Excal at him. We're at about 21,000 right now, if I counted my stuff right. It's about 26. That's about 29. That's about 36. Okay, that's 43, and that should be the refill. He has 61,000 to go. So if he shakes here, it's a fake shake because he is not ready. So he now has 56,000 to go. He has about 53 to go. He has about 45 to go. He has 40 to go. He has 37 to go. Again, you see he's not doing anything. 32, 30, 28, or 22 rather. That's 14. Okay, we're into Meteor territory. He's got about 10,000 left. That's a fake shake. He won't get that off. Okay, he's got less than 3 left. I miscounted a little bit. But not that much. He's dead. Alright, and so that was about minimum level to be absolutely comfortable. It would have been even easier with adamant armor just because of all the bonuses everyone else gets. But you saw how hard Cecil was hitting, and that adamant armor just kept stacking on it and making it good. But Nothing too bad there. And that kind of takes you to the end of the seed. If you're running this thing, as soon as you hear that crack boom, and if you have the flash on, which I don't, that's by default turned off, as soon as you see that, the fight's over and things are done. So there's not a whole lot else to worry about here. But again, Fusoya didn't do a lot, rose it through one cure, which ended up not being totally necessary. The biggest thing Fusoya did was throw that elixir on Kane just to make sure he survived that first big bang, or after the nuke hit him. But it wasn't bad. Cecil was the rock star of that by a pretty big margin. But at this point, we get to kind of see what was on there and how the seed played out. So we'll watch a little bit of the scroll, we'll see some of the stats, and then we'll show you one other bit of business that you usually should do if you're going to, both for your own amusement and if you're going to stream this. But again, that's pretty good party, and it worked out pretty well for us. And almost anybody could have sat in Fu's slot and done his job. Because literally all he had to do was throw the crystal and be ready to use that one elixir. But Berserk is such a powerful spell, and having your guys at RA1 just slamming into Zeromus really makes a difference. And with this kind of flag set where you can get so much power and such big weapons on it, it really just, it solves all your problems. Even without adamant armor, you can just crush through that fight. So that 103 is not exactly our time. There's a couple resets in that, and it usually takes us a little bit longer than that. That probably, I'm guessing, is 8 to 10 minutes off from how long it really took to do it. But again, we're not timing it. We're just playing it for fun. 13 of 18 characters. We missed 5 of them. We opened 1 treasure, and that would be the one that was in the Feymarch freebie. And we saw 13 bosses, which I forgot to light up Evil Wall, so we'll clean him up too. But again, it was only a third of the bosses, and we were in go mode on this seed, so it's not quite the ordeal that you can sometimes make it out to be. Alright, so there's 3 items. We did not check Barren Castle, we did not check Sealed Cave, and we did not check top of tower or bottom of tower. So we'll see if we can figure out where the Zonk is, because there is a Zonk due to the crystal being out for the objectives. And then I'll show you how music works. But, I don't know. If you complete a seed like this, take the time, watch the scroll, listen to the music, feel like a hero, and be proud of yourself. Because even if you're learning, you're doing it for the first time particularly, you completed the game, you stepped in the shoes, and you tried it. And this is your reward. This is where the game says to you, you're the hero of the blue planet. You saved everybody. Be proud of yourself because you stopped the ultimate evil. And you should be proud of yourself. Alright, show us where the mystery 3 items are. Okay, you know what, we're not going to spend too much time waiting for that because it's not really too material here. So, here's the other trick. If you've never seen this before, after you've beaten Zeromus, if you get to the point where it shows you the seed number and all that information for your treasure count, it'll throw a flag onto the ROM. And with that flag, you can go hear music anytime you want, not by going to Magnus. You don't even have to have found the harp, but you can come back here to Troya Castle and see Edward, and the twin harp knows the song. So if you want to hear the song again, which we had this bit from Live Alive, you can just talk to the harp, and it's going to play the music. Alright folks, well I'm going to play you guys out, but that's the end of this instructional seed. I hope it helped you. Please, if you're interested in Free Enterprise, come hang out with us at the Discord. The Free Enterprise Discord is a hub where you can find people, do seeds, learn stuff. Feel free to drop me a line if you like. My Twitch handle is TallGrant. I stream a couple times a week right now, and would love to walk you through. I like to talk about why I do what I do when I play, and you can see me do stuff when I'm actually on the clock and trying to do stuff. But I hope this was helpful. Enjoy playing with Psychos from Live Alive, and good luck with your runs. Take care.